Hey guys, how you doing? Hopefully you're doing okay. I'm not going to read through the full article here. I'm going to give you an overview. There is a link in the description. The reason I'm not going to go through the full article is because it is exceptionally long. It's a little bit too long for my liking. So I will be able to give you all of the important information, and I'll be able to give you a bit of a summary in regards to those aspects that I'm not going to read through. In essence, or I should provide a trigger warning, this is pretty horrific, extremely horrific. So I am putting in place a trigger warning. It's in regards to a 17-year-old mother. She has now turned 18 just in the last few days. And she is accused of having murdered her newborn baby girl. Moments after the baby girl's birth, allegedly, the mother killed her with scissors, stabbed her in the torso multiple times. I'll skip to this part towards the end. The coroner said that it is his medical opinion that the baby was born alive. The newborn's chest cavity and bruising around the wounds are evidence to support his assertion that the baby was born alive and died from multiple sharp force injuries. Okay, so I wanted to make the point that the baby was born alive because much of the article is questioning that. Much of the article is stating that the 17-year-old's family, her mother and other family members, had no idea that she was pregnant. Seemingly, allegedly. They could be attempting to cover their arse, pardon my French. So the mother is also arguing, I think it's accurate to say, that she was not aware that she was pregnant. We'll start off by looking through the first part of the article. A now 18-year-old woman is charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder for allegedly stabbing and killing her newborn infant. This happened in Weld County, Colorado. So 2 counts of first-degree murder. Why is there 2 counts? Well, it is in regards to the one victim, the one newborn infant girl. But it is 2 counts because the prosecutions have 2 theories as to how the infant was murdered. So they have 2 prosecutory lines of attack, I believe would be the right way of explaining that. So that's why it's 2 counts of first degree murder, but to be clear, there is only one victim. The defendant, Layla Marissa Cepeda, is from Texas. Again, this occurred in Colorado. She was arrested on Friday. A few days ago, June the 8th, she gave birth to the newborn baby in Colorado. The mother was 17 years of age at that point, and she's since turned 18 over the last few days. As such, she's been charged as an adult. She's in custody at a local hospital, so apparently she was bleeding profusely. She did require surgery, so she is still in hospital at this point. No court date has been set at this point. The case unfolded when authorities were called on Wednesday to a report of a deceased female infant that was found in a home in Nunn, Colorado, about 20 minutes south of the Wyoming border. The infant had what appeared to be stab wounds to her body. According to a police affidavit released by the DA's office, the stab wounds were to the infant's torso. The mother told responding medical personnel she wasn't feeling well and that she had not informed her family that she was pregnant. The mother said the baby was not breathing when it was born and that she had used a small pair of scissors to cut the umbilical cord. And then apparently the mother said that she went to take a shower after having given birth. So a few key points there. She's saying that her family didn't know she was pregnant. I believe it's fair to insinuate or to intimate, whatever the right word is, that she herself perhaps did realize that she was pregnant. Within the article, there is a statement saying that the mother said that she never felt the baby move inside of her. So I think there's a bit of a question mark as if to whether or not she did actually, honestly, and truthfully know whether or not she was pregnant. And I think there's also a bit of a question mark as to whether or not the family did know. The mother is stating that the family did not know. And there is evidence that the mother said, "Hey, look, are you sure you're not pregnant? It seems like you're pregnant. It seems like you're giving birth. You're in the process of labor." And apparently the scumbag mother denied being pregnant all the way through. So certainly the family, parts of the family suspected that she was pregnant, but allegedly they did not actually know. So it is important here that the mother said the baby was not breathing when it was born. And as we saw, the medical examiner contradicts that statement. The coroner, rather, says that in their medical opinion, the baby was born alive. So it looks like the mother is lying. There's a bit of a description as to how the officers found the baby. A bedroom located in the basement of the residence is where the baby was located. Officer Balltrip observed what appeared to be stab wounds to the torso and chest of the deceased newborn child. The officer located a small pair of scissors lying on the foot of the bed. The scissors had what appeared to be dried blood on them. The officer noticed that there was a large amount of blood on the floor, walls, curtains, and towels in the room. Underneath the bed, officers located women's underwear, napkins, and leggings that appeared to be containing an unknown liquid. I'm thinking, I don't know what I'm talking about, but I'm thinking the waters. You know, when a lady gives birth, enters into labor, the breaking of the waters. Don't really know what those waters are. They within the womb. Is that what the... I don't know. I should shut up. Additionally, the officer observed what appeared to be part of a cut umbilical cord and some type of membrane on the floor, placenta perhaps, as well as a bloody towel with some type of membrane visible. I'm going to add something here, and this is speculation on my part. I mean, there's a lot of, I'll say equipment. It's not really equipment, but there's underwear, there's napkins, there's leggings, there's towels, there's all kinds of things. I'm just thinking to myself that would a 17-year-old pregnant girl, and by the way, it's been mentioned that this is believed to have been a full-term pregnancy. Would they be in a position to give birth on their own and to be able to attempt to mop things up and cover things up on their own? I guess it's possible, but I would be not surprised. I would not be surprised if somebody else was present while she was giving birth. And indeed, the article tells us that several people were in the house at the time that the mother gave birth. The defendant's mother and four others. Joseph Segura, Sylvia Segura, Felicia Segura, and Casey Bartholomew, as well as the mother, were said to have been in the house. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 other people in the house. Are we to believe that she was upstairs alone or downstairs in the basement alone when there's 5 other people in the house? Not sure if I buy that. The mother claimed, the defendant's mother claimed that she didn't know that the defendant was pregnant. So the mother is claiming ignorance. She said she didn't know the daughter was pregnant and that her daughter was beating herself up for not trusting her mother enough to convey that information. So the article goes on to quite a big description, and really it's discussing, if you like, whether or not the other family knew that the 17-year-old was pregnant. So I don't really feel the need to go through that. And that's as much of that article that I wish to go through, really. So it's an absolute tragedy. A 17-year-old girl, now 18, allegedly stabbed her newborn baby girl to death with some small scissors. The coroner has said that the baby was born alive. The mother seems to be saying the opposite, or is saying the opposite. She faces 2 counts of first-degree murder. There is just the one victim. It's 2 counts because the prosecution believe that they have 2 possible arguments or lines of argument, if that's the right term, to proceed with. She's to be charged as an adult, as she's just turned 18. The mother, the family, claim ignorance. They didn't know what was going on. 5 people in the house. They didn't know that somebody was giving birth. May be true, it may not be true. We don't really know. All we know is that a newborn baby was born alive after a full-term pregnancy, or what's believed to be a full-term pregnancy. And tragically, the mother, I'm going to say allegedly, murdered the newborn baby girl. I mean, it's such a shame. I do feel a bit of a mental quandary in this kind of situation. I am not a fan of child murder, as you know. If you follow this channel, most of my videos are in regards to murder of children. And the reason why most of my videos are in regards to the murder of children is because I scan through these articles. I try to find articles of crime that's happened today or yesterday, very recently. And there's a lot of crime out there. There's a lot of murders out there. But to me, when the victims are children, it's just more harrowing. It's more impactful. And with that, I feel that it's more meaningful and more worthy of coverage. I don't mean to demean this, and I'm going on a bit of a ramble here. I'm going on a bit of a tangent. But I don't mean to be overly demeaning, but if a 50-year-old neighbour kills their 52-year-old neighbour, I don't really care that much. Do you know what I mean? And I don't mean that in an overly dismissive or heartless way. But it's not as harrowing or as impactful to me as reading about the murder of children, particularly perhaps at the hands of their parents. But in this kind of situation, when it's a newborn, when it's a young mother killing their newborn immediately after the death, I mean, this is a thing. And it's a horrendous thing, don't get me wrong. It's an absolutely tragic, horrendous thing. But it is a thing. I mean, I'm tempted to say the word common. I mean, this is a thing. It always has been a thing. And for whatever reason, I feel some level, not complete, but some level of empathy towards the mother. I think I do because I'm presuming, perhaps I'm being overly generous, but I'm presuming that the young mother is in a mental or psychological state that is not normal. And maybe I'm wrong for thinking along these lines, but I just feel that the young mothers of newborns, they don't deserve a full pass, don't get me wrong, but I do feel that they deserve some level of empathy. I can only imagine that they're going through some kind of mental process which is stopping them from thinking like a rational, normal human. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they are evil. I don't think they're evil. That's it. I don't think it's evil. I think their actions are evil, don't get me wrong, but I don't think that they necessarily are evil. I don't know, maybe I'm just an idiot. I'm just presuming that a 17-year-old is not an absolute fucking scumbag. Maybe I'm wrong. What do I think? think I just had a thought. I can't remember it now. Um, I think it could be low IQ. I think it honestly could be low IQ. I think it could be that some people are very low IQ and don't really have a grasp on adulthood at at that time, um, and they've not yet received guidance along certain lines in regards to certain subjects. They're not in a they're not equipped. They're not mentally equipped to cope properly with such a situation. I mean, that's a presumption on my part. I think that's where my empathy comes from. I think. I don't know. I've waffled. Maybe no one's interested in that. Um, but regardless of my waffle there, regardless of the degree of empathy that I have towards young mothers that give birth in this kind of situation, whereby they perhaps don't realize that they're pregnant, perhaps they're scared, perhaps they're not in a position to feel confident to inform family members that they're pregnant. They don't know what they're going to do after they give birth. Perhaps they're fearful of the repercussions of giving birth. Maybe they're going to be dismissed. I can't think of the word, but disowned by their family. Maybe the father was a rapist. Maybe the father was. It was an incestuous act. Maybe the mother of the newborn was extremely fearful of repercussions of being pregnant and giving birth. Anyway, regardless of that, it is, of course, completely tragic and shameful, given that many states in America, and I presume across the world, I hope across the world, but certainly many states in America do have safe havens specifically for this type of situation. So facilities such as fire stations, police stations, churches, and other facilities accept newborn babies that have been born within the last 30 to 60 days, something along those lines. And in several of the states, I believe I'm right in saying that they have a no questions asked policy, as long as the child does not appear to be the victim of abuse. Then there's a no questions asked policy. So that essentially means that a young mother, or doesn't even, regardless of the age of the mother, a mother can hand in their newborn baby within 30 days of birth, 60 days of birth, to one of these safe havens, and they will be looked after, and the mother will not be charged for any wrongdoing unless there's evidence of abuse of the child. So there are mechanisms. Society has put in place mechanisms to protect against this kind of situation, and I do think that that is something that, and I'm presuming again, but I do think that that is something that would benefit from increased awareness, ongoing promotion of those facilities. I'm thinking that kids don't necessarily know of these facilities, and maybe, I'm going to say something outrageous here, but when you guys in America and the UK and wherever else, when you're doing your sex education at school, when you're showing TV programs of people having sex directly in front of children, yes, I'm referring to a British television show that did exactly that, to male and female adults having sex in front of within a few feet of a dozen or more children aged, I don't know, 5 to 12, something like that. Or when you're in America and you're teaching, and again, this will be controversial, when you're teaching your kids about how Johnny should get married with Jimmy, maybe you should also spend a little bit of time explaining that if a young girl does get impregnated, what her options are during the pregnancy and, you know, at the point of pregnancy, post-pregnancy, what her options are. You know, talk about adoption. Talk about safe havens to donate babies. Talk about police assistance. Talk about the dangers, the wrongness of incest. In, you know, talk about avenues for young women and indeed young men, young girls, young boys to approach authorities if they have been raped or molested or whatever. You know, gone on a big tangent there. Sorry for that, guys. I'm going to wrap things up here at this point. If you listen to my whole video, you're an absolute star. And even if you don't, you're a star too. But I'm going to wrap things up here, guys. I might make a few more videos. I'm not sure if I'll be doing a live stream today. I don't think I will. But I will perhaps over the next few days. I don't know. Anyway, going to wrap things up here, guys. Do like, comment, subscribe, share the video. You're free to donate if you'd like to buy me a coffee. That would be lovely. But I'll leave you to it. Thanks for your time.